Welcome back in Tec Dev Studio and our Unreal Engine tutorial course series. And in this series, we are learning full Unreal Engine. So this is our part number 4. And in this part, we are going to learn about creating a C++ project as setup. The previous video, we learned how to create a project for a blueprint based and the different types of template, how we need to use in which purposes, and etc. So in this video, we are going to learn about C++ project create and setup. So for creating a C++ project, that is pretty similar like blueprint, like what we learned in the previous video, like creating blueprints and everything. That is all the features same. But in the C++ project, we need to just shift this button, that blueprint to C+. We just need to press one time. So now this project will be create a C++ project. So as you know that if you have the knowledge of C++ coding, that you probably familiar with header file and CPP file and the others. In Unreal Engine, there's some additional file come, like some C# file also come, like in the build.css and targeted.css. Okay, so not sorry, css, that is cs, that is a C# file. Okay, so like that. Okay, so we already learned what is that. So let's create a simple project and let's learn the setup. So just click on the C++ and click on create a C++. So now what it will do, it will be basically create a project for you, and then it will be create a C# and C# and C++ file for you, which with that file you are able to run and able to write code. So the C++ project can be take some time, depends on PC config. So in my case, I'm using Intel i9 Gen K series processor with RTX 3070 Ti OS edition and 64 GB RAM with NVMe. Okay. So as you can see, make sure if you want to create a C++ project, it can be take time. It's a heavy thing, so keep it in mind. Okay. Once you have a project something like this, you will be see that in your background, you will be find something like this. For now, let me move this editor in my left screen and show you the Visual Studio. So in the Visual Studio, you will be find something like this. Okay, a panel. Now you have a question, bro, for creating Visual Studio, what is that? So if you are not familiar with Visual Studio, let me tell you something. First, creating a project, you must need the Visual Studio. So you need to go to the Visual Studio installer. You can go to Visual Studio, search Visual Studio 2020 and you need to download the community because this is the free version. Then in the modify section, you need to go there, and at there you need to download some extra component, that is game development with C++. There you need to just click on that. It will give you all the thing. You can install the Unreal installer and Android IDE support. So once you have this thing, you are ready to rock and roll. Okay, just you need this thing. Once you have this thing, you'll be fine your Visual Studio something like this. So there's always a warning message show you that based on solution you might be need to install everything. It will be said you can ignore, it's just a warning message, don't worry about that. Once you find a project something like this, now here that is first you find an engine folder. Then if you split that, you find all the engine source, like the plugins, that everything about the engine. Because now you are a C++ developer and C++ give you lots of freedom. Okay, even you can't view this file in a blueprint project, you only can view these things in the C++ project. And if you are familiar with C++, it will be more helper for you. Okay, at the game folder you find about your projects. Okay, so as you can see our project name, that is CPP. So if you split that, you'll find other stuff like the reference, external dependency. So here you find all the dependency. Then you find the config, that is the project config, that is basically the controller of this project. So if you double click on that, you can explore them. And then for visit your source, that you can go to the source, and here as I talk about the CS, that is basically some C# file, and every here you'll find your .header file and .cpp file for run your code. Okay, that is the thing. Now let me show you some process that I need to navigate a C++ project. Whenever you create a project, then in the developer section you need to click on a config manager. And at here at the CPP, you'll see that your build tool is a Win64. You need to choose that also at here the Win64. If it's not coming, this is a common error in everywhere, that you create a C++ project but the Win64 is not coming. So you must need to fix that, otherwise every time it will be show you error. So what you need to do, you can close your project and then you can bring your Unreal Engine editor, and first you need to go to edit, then edit preferences, then you need to go to the source code, and at here choose first Visual Studio 2020. Once you set up like this, you need to go to editor, project settings, and then scroll down something like this. Here you find at the platforms, you find Windows. At here select the default LHS to default and set the compiler version to 2020-22. Once you give it like that, you can give a restart. Make sure at this time your Visual Studio is disabled. Once it reload and everything, what you can do, you can close your project. Then you need to explore your file, like wherever basically you create. In my case, I create in my music folder, that is on here, that's CPP. Here you find some additional file and extra file called VS binaries and data caches and intermediate. So for bring that Win64, you need to delete that VS binaries, data cache, intermediate, and save.cache. At here, if you want, you can delete the SLN file also. But make sure do not delete the source file, because this is an important one. This is allow you to create the C++ projects. So now you can basically delete the or your empty cache. Once you do that, you can press right mouse, but I recommend do not press, like lots of YouTuber and the tutorials show you that press on right mouse, click on generate Visual Studio files. I don't recommend that. You should click on double click at the project. So by default, it will be bring everything, and it will be show you this pop-up error that some modules is missing and this is building different with engine. So just click on yes. Okay, Unreal Engine will be do everything for you automatically. So once it's doing, you press this thing, you need to wait some time, because at here by in your computer and in the hidden tasks are basically executed, it's not generating everything. Okay, so you'll be see that after a couple seconds it's bring some binaries file and platform file and save file, because it's now generating that. So you need to keep it wait, and you'll be see after some time under it will be basically come a project like this and it's open. Now if you go to the tools, you'll be see that generate Visual Studio file. So now just click on here that generate Visual Studio file. So now it's basically going to be update everything and give you the all the needed file, that SLN file and everything what you need. Now if you double click open this thing, you will be see that Win64 support. So this is the error and this is the way to fix this. So here you find that just give it some time to load up, because whenever you see this circle, you need to give some time this software to load everything. And just choose your project and just wait some time, then press here and then go to config manager, and now explore that, and here you will be see that Win64. In this way you are basically first able to fix that Win64, and this is also mandatory, otherwise your project never going to be compiled. Close that, and now you are ready to rock and roll. So I can close this thing, and now in build at here you need to press on the solution, right mouse, and here you find that build solution. The build solution allow you to build your project. So suppose you do anything like you write your code, now you are ready want to compile. Like in Visual Studio by default we compile from here, but this is not only a Visual Studio, now it's working with Unreal Engine, so you need to give that build solution. At the build solution you will be see that the 2 success, 0 fail, 0 skip. Make sure everything should be 0 0, only the success one should be work, others thing the fail should become 0 and everything, because if there's any error come in the failed section you need to fix that, otherwise your project never will going to be work. Once you do that, you write code in Unreal Engine, now you need to also compile that. So at here you'll find here some brick type effect or some cube, if you block type icon, like if you're familiar with some block game that there's some block come from the sky and then you need to color match, something like that. So you need to press that thing and it going to be compile everything. That is basically Unreal Engine live coding compiler. Sometimes it's needed, because once you compile code from the Visual Studio you need to also compile in Unreal Engine, otherwise nothing will be work. So now you are basically able to work with your project. Now in the second time let me show you a problem. Like most of C++ user face this thing. You close your project, something like this. You come in the next day. Now you want to run your project. So you simply click on project, just run this project. Okay. Now by default, the Visual Studio will be never open for you because this is a second time attempt. Now you want to code, like now you'll be see that, bro, where is my Visual Studio? How can I write code, right? So at here, what you need to do, you need to go to the tools and you need to click on open the Visual Studio 2020. So it will be automatically open the Visual Studio file for you. That why I need to do your code. So that is all the full navigation of working with a C++ project that you need to do and you have to do basically. So this is all. This is not a tutorial series that will show you that how you need to write the code, C++, blah blah stuff. I'm going to introduce with a blueprint one. So I just show you the C++ project creating. If you want to continue with a C++ project, you can do. So that is the basically optional one. That's why I make this video. So thank you so much for watching this. Love you all. Bye bye. See you in next tutorial video.